everyone.
Hi there.
So we decided that this video would be about bridal fragrances because it's summer and it's bridal season, and it's really important, we think, to get your fragrance right for you.
Definitely.
On your wedding day. You know, it's a big day, one of the biggest of your life. So we feel like it's a good thing to think about when you're choosing your bridal fragrances, what kind of questions you would ask yourself. So we've got some tips.
Yeah, so it can be quite overwhelming when you're going into store.
Sure.
So if you think about these things before you go, it might help you. First off, the major thing to think about is how do you want your fragrance to make you feel on your wedding day?
Sure.
So do you want to feel sexy and sultry? Do you want to feel kind of understated and fresh? Do you want to feel romantic? You know, what kind of feel are you looking for? And that will help you narrow things down.
Absolutely. Also, do you want to smell different from everyone else that's there? You know, it's a bit like the sort of dress faux pas. No one wants to go to a party or a do in the same dress as someone else. So try maybe to think about, if you do want to smell completely different to everyone else, maybe a niche fragrance would be a good choice for you because they're a little bit less known, a little bit harder to find, a little bit more your secret. So you can probably guarantee that no other guest will be wearing that same fragrance.
Another thing to think about is where are you getting married and what time of year? Because if you're getting married on a beach in Mexico, you're probably not going to want to go for the same smell as if you're getting married in a church in the UK in December.
Yeah.
You know, you want something that fits the climate, the atmosphere of the place. So think about that as well.
Absolutely. Also, think about your bouquet. So if you've got beautiful, say, rose bouquet, or maybe beautiful peony bouquet, think about whether you want your fragrance to also contain those floral notes. It might be quite a nice idea to match your flowers up if you have a love of floral fragrances.
Another thing as well is, like, if you're going to be having a wedding where you've got like the ceremony, maybe lunchtime-ish, and then you're going to be going on into the evening, some people obviously will change their outfit for the evening. Maybe you want to change your fragrance for the evening as well. So you could completely change it, or you could go from, say, the EDT in the day to the parfum in the evening, to just kind of strengthen it and make it a little bit more kind of luxurious and sensual.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, finally, when shopping for fragrance for your wedding, think about your guests, think about your bridal party. So what's your bridesmaids wearing? Or maybe you'll choose a perfume for them to wear as part of their gift. And if that's the case, try and look for something that doesn't clash with what you're wearing, because you're going to be close to them most of the day. So some things to think about there.
And also, one more thing I have to add is the groom. So I know it is about you and you want to smell nice, but maybe you want to make sure that the person you're marrying also likes the smell.
Yeah.
Because that's quite important, because sometimes you love something and they're like, not so keen about that, and they're going to remember that smell from that day as well. So that's quite important. So we have got some fragrances that we've chosen as great bridal fragrances. It's so hard because anything could be a bridal fragrance, really. So we've just picked some to show you that you might like to try.
Yeah.
Now, Georgina, do you want to start?
Yeah,
because you got married relatively recently, and so it's nice for you to kick off with what you wore on your wedding day.
Okay, so all right, I will. I'll tell you that, going back to Sarah's point that you just made about the groom, and it's quite difficult if you're then choosing something new. I found it quite difficult because I didn't take my husband with me when I shopped. So actually what I decided to do was I decided to wear a fragrance that I personally loved, and actually that I wore on our first date and that I've been wearing a lot. So, and this going back to memories, okay? So fragrance and scent and memories and emotions are all really linked together in our brains. We all know that because we smell something and it triggers off a memory. So for me, the fragrance that I chose really triggered off that memory of our first date and the butterflies in my stomach and the feeling of excitement. So I chose Jasmine Noir, which is a Bulgari fragrance. Here we go. This fragrance, I'll just show you the bottle here. This is one of my favourite fragrances, and you wouldn't perhaps necessarily think of it as a bridal fragrance. It's not all sort of pretty and light and romantic, but it's full of jasmine, and it's got licorice and almond in it. Now, so for me, I think it smells good enough to eat.
Yeah,
this fragrance.
I
love it, and it's not. It's quite soft. So on what we call the dry down, so after you've sprayed it and you've sort of left it for a few moments, as it starts to soften, it just, for me, it smells like sensual, but also very, very feminine at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It's quite kind of glamour, like sophisticated.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like a kind of black velvet and jewels.
I wanted to be a glamorous bride, clearly.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So from one extreme with Bulgari Jasmine Noir, I'm going to show you something that I think is a great bridal fragrance, but that's at the other end. This is at the pretty feminine, kind of girly end. And this is from Elie Saab. You guys know I love Elie Saab. And this is the newest fragrance, which is called Rose Couture. And you can see that there. It's in a lovely pink tinted glass.
It's very pretty.
And the bottle is pink as well. Elie Saab's a perfect wedding fragrance as a whole brand because he makes wedding dresses. So he's very good at doing that kind of princess style. Let's have a spritz and I'll tell you about the smell. Here we go. So all Elie Saab fragrances are based around orange blossom.
Oh, that is lush.
Orange blossom is a beautiful, romantic, white, glowing flower. But the reason that this is different to the original is because the perfumer, a chap called Francis Kurkdjian, he created this special note called rose nectar for this fragrance, and so it's meant to smell like kind of sweet, juicy, gourmand rose.
Again, like the Jasmine Noir thing, it's good enough to eat.
It is.
It's quite delicious.
It's so delicious, but it's really floral. So if you had a beautiful rose bouquet or roses in your church or something, it would fit in really well with that. Also, even if it's not for you, it's a lovely bridesmaids fragrance. If you wanted to buy a gift for your bridesmaids, it would work really well.
Actually, if you decided to wear the original of this, which is full of orange blossom and jasmine, this would also complement very well as a bridesmaid's fragrance, slightly lighter.
So that's Elie Saab Rose Couture.
I'm actually going to stick on the rose theme, I think.
It's romantic.
It is romantic. I love roses. This is a niche fragrance, and it's by a beautiful brand called Annick Goutal. And Annick Goutal is a French brand, very chic, very elegant. And this one is called Keller Morden. I don't know if you can see that. And Keller Morden means something like such love, or what love,
and it has an exclamation mark.
with an exclamation mark. Yeah, like a surprise. The story behind it is beautiful. I'm just going to have a spritz.
This is one of my favourites.
Comes out in a cloud of fragrance. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Sorry, here we go.
Yeah, thank you.
The story behind it is that Camille Goutal, who is the daughter of Annick Goutal, who now makes the perfumes, she was coming home from a trip, and her favourite flower is peony. Good choice, Camille.
Yeah.
And her then boyfriend had literally scattered these beautiful peony blooms all over the apartment. And as she walked in, she pronounced, Keller Morden, i.e., wow, he must really love me because he's done all of this. Not many men do stuff like that.
No, I'm like, where is this man?
Where are these men? So anyway, I love it because, again, it's got beautiful rose in it, but you can just smell that fizzy cherry.
It's quite fruity.
So it's got pomegranate, it's got cherry, some fruits in there, which actually make you feel quite uplifted and quite excited. It captures the excitement of the wedding day. And, you know, your wedding day, I know that often we're nervous on our wedding day, but actually it's exciting, excitement and nerves. So that, for me, it captures that fizz, that buzz, that sort of champagne feeling. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, one of my favourite fragrances, and I wish more people knew about it in a way, but I don't want too many people to know about it.
No, well, there you go. They all do now.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Okay, so the last one I'm going to talk about is from a brand. It's quite a new brand, actually, and it's called Dear Rose, the brand. So you can see it here. Their bottles are gorgeous with like copper accents on them. And the fragrance is called I Love My Man.
Oh, that's appropriate.
So it's perfect for a wedding fragrance.
Yeah.
What you'll find, without going into all the fragrances from Dear Rose, but the first 5 in the initial collection are like a story of a woman at different times of the day, or different women in different moods. And this woman from the I Love My Man fragrance is someone who is besotted in love with her man, and her man has given her a big bouquet of roses, and she's taking in that smell of the bouquet. So if we spray it, I'll kind of explain to you the type of rose, because it's very different to the rose we smelt in Keller Morden, or to the rose we smelt in the Rose Couture from Elie Saab. This is a much more dramatic and sensual rose fragrance. So it's got centerfolia and Bulgarian rose, so 2 different varieties, but Bulgarian rose particularly is quite a kind of bold and deep rose. And then the thing that makes this very distinctive is that it's got spices, so it's got cinnamon.
Yeah, I can smell that actually.
So it's meant to be kind of warm and sensual. It's also got tonka bean, which gives that kind of almondy, cinnamony, vanilla-y smell, and quite a lot of sandalwood. So the sandalwood's quite actually masculine normally, but in here it just gives it like a really nice woody and a little bit powdery and dry base.
Do you know what? It's really powdery. I think that's why I like this as well. I quite like powdery scents. It's soft.
So I mean, it's inspired by the love of your man, but also actually it's the name of a Billie Holiday song, which is apparently where they got their inspiration from for the title.
That could be your first dance thing.
It could. Perfect.
Okay, so there's some of our top tips and some recommendations for bridal fragrances. I hope you enjoyed that. Please do leave a comment and let us know what you wore or are wearing on your wedding day. We'd love to hear. And don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.